Why did the oldest lion on the plain, alone, forgotten, at the very end of everything, share his last kill with a cub that wasn't even his own? No one in the pride understood. Not even he did at first. His mane had gone almost black with age, and that golden cub was the last thing he ever expected or wanted to find. The old lion had a name once, when names still mattered, when he'd been strong. The young ones who remembered him at all called him Bahari, an old word that meant the sea, because in his prime his roar had carried like something vast and endless, and the whole plain had gone still to hear it. But that had been a long time ago. The sea grows quiet, the roar fades, and the lion who had once ruled was now only an old shape moving slowly through the grass at the edge of a world that had already moved on without him. That is how it goes for the old lions. There is no gentle ending written for them. When the mane darkens and the legs grow slow and a stronger one rises, the old king does not get to stay. The pride moves on, the way prides do, following the strong and the young toward the next hunt, the next season, the next life. And the old one is simply left behind, not driven out in any single moment, just slowly, quietly, allowed to fall to the back and then to fall away entirely, until one morning the herd is over the horizon and he is alone in the grass with nothing ahead of him but the end. Bahari had made his peace with that. He had decided, in the flat and final way the old decide things, that he would meet the end alone with whatever dignity a forgotten king has left. He did not look for company. He did not want it. What would be the point? A creature at the end of his story does not go looking for a new beginning. He had nothing left to give, and he knew it, and he had stopped expecting the world to ask anything more of him. And then the world asked. It came in the form of a sound he had not heard in years, the thin hoarse cry of a cub. Bahari followed it, slowly, more out of old habit than anything, and found in a stand of dry brush the most unwelcome thing his tired heart could have imagined. A lion cub. A little lion, a male, golden and small and utterly alone. The grass beyond him was crushed into a long trail that led away and did not return. Whatever had walked off down that trail had not come back for him. He was new to the world, and the world had already left him, the same way it had left the old lion. Two creatures abandoned by the same plain, at the opposite ends of the same life. Everything in Bahari said to walk away. He was dying, slowly but truly. He could barely feed himself. The great hunts were behind him, and he survived now on what was easy and what was left. He had nothing, no strength to spare, no years to give, no business at all taking on a small life when his own was nearly spent. A cub needs someone with a future, and a future was the one thing the old lion did not have. He turned to go, but the little lion followed. On legs that could barely hold him, the cub stumbled after the old lion through the grass, crying, refusing to be left. Bahari walked faster. The cub fell, scrambled up, came on. The old lion could not lose him, and more than that, he found he could not make himself try very hard, because there was something in that small, stubborn, golden shape, something in the way it would not give up on a forgotten old creature that the whole world had already given up on, that reached a place in Bahari he had thought was already closed. He had been left behind, and here was someone refusing to leave him behind. So the old lion, who had nothing to give, began, against all his own good sense, to give it. He shared his kills, what little he could still bring down, divided now in half, the better half going to the cub. He let the small one sleep against the worn warmth of his side, And slowly, as the seasons turned, he began to do the one thing he still knew how to do better than any creature alive. He began to teach, because Bahari had been a king, and everything a young male needs to become one was still there, locked inside that aging body: the knowledge of the hunt, the patience of the stalk, the reading of the wind and the grass and the herd. His legs could no longer do these things, but his mind remembered all of it. And he poured it, every last bit of it, into the little lion. He showed the cub how to crouch low and move without a sound, how to wait, how the whole art of it was the waiting, how to find water in a dry season, how to read the plain, how to carry himself. The old king could no longer hunt, so he made the cub his legs. He taught the small one to do everything he could no longer do, and watched, with something he had long ago stopped expecting to feel, as the little lion grew strong on everything he had to give. And here was the thing the old lion came to understand. In the quiet of those last seasons, the thing that turned the end of his life into something it had never been. He had believed he had nothing left. He had believed a creature at the end of his story is a creature who is finished, who is only waiting, who has been emptied out. And it was not true. He had a whole lifetime inside him, everything he had ever learned, every season he had survived, all the hard wisdom of a long reign, and it had been worth nothing, sitting locked inside a dying body until there was someone small enough and stubborn enough to pour it into. The cub had not given the old lion a future. The cub had given him something better. He had given the old lion's past a place to go. The little lion grew, strong and certain, into everything the old king's teaching had shaped him to be. And there came the day, as there always does, when the young one stood tall and ready, and the call of the wider plain reached into him, the pull of his own life, his own pride, his own reign waiting somewhere out in the gold. Bahari was very old now, slower than ever, and he did the last thing a king can do. He did not hold the young one back. He had been held back by no one, had been simply left, and he would not leave this one the way he had been left, nor cling to him the way the frightened cling. He had given the cub everything. Now he gave him the last thing, which was the going. On the morning the young lion stood at the edge of the old one's range and looked out toward his future. Bahari rose with effort to his full height one last time. The old king, mane gone black with all his years, and he did the thing he had not done in longer than he could remember. He roared, low and worn, and not nearly what it once was, but real, the sea finding its voice one final time to send a young king on his way. And the little lion he had raised walked out into the plain, toward his own pride, toward the reign that the old one's whole life had prepared him for. He looked back once at the aging shape standing in the morning light, and then he was gone into the gold, carrying everything the old king had ever known. The seasons turned. The young lion became a great one, a true king of his stretch of the plain, strong and wise beyond his years, with a patience in the hunt and a steadiness in the lead that the other young lions could not match and could not explain. He ruled well. He ruled for a long time. And he never knew that everything he was had been poured into him by a forgotten old creature at the very end of a life, in a few short seasons, in a stand of dry brush at the edge of the world. But he carried one thing that set him apart from every king before him. When he himself grew old, when his own mane began to darken, and his own legs began to slow, and the pride began, in the old way, to look toward the next strong one, he did not let the old ones around him be left behind. The aging hunters, the slow ones, the ones a pride forgets, He kept them close. He let them stay. He let them teach the young the way he had once been taught. In a world that abandons its old kings in the grass, this one king would not. He did not know why. He had no memory of Bahari, no picture of the black-maned old lion who had fed him and shaped him and roared him out into his life. He only carried, beneath all his strength, the single thing the old one had given him without either of them ever calling it a lesson: that no life is finished while it still has something to give. That the oldest, the slowest, the most forgotten creature on the plain might be carrying a whole kingdom inside him and might only be waiting at the very end for someone small and stubborn enough to refuse to leave him alone. Somewhere, long ago, an old lion had lain down to meet his end with nothing, and a golden cub had walked up to him and refused to go, and given the end of one life the one thing it never expected to find: a beginning.